The Final Four will span over 4 full days, meaning the Westgate District will be on lockdown starting Friday afternoon all the way through Monday night's championship game. Though spending the day today protesting out here on the Capitol lawn, teachers are trying to reach House and Senate leaders in the old-fashioned way, sending postcards just like this one in my hand. For over 10 years, people have been meeting on the Capitol's front lawn for cancer awareness. Today's goal in particular is to gain support for bills that they believe could lower the cancer rates in Arizona. The bill passed through the Senate final read with a vote of 29 for and 0 against. The bill has been transmitted to the governor's desk and now awaits to be signed. In the broadcast center, Joe Constantin, Cronkite News. Chertoff said one of the best examples of surveillance coming into your personal lives could be like a car insurance company providing a discount for an uplink in your car that could be tracking your driving habits. Another one is a fitness band on your wrist that could track huge amounts of data and give them to your insurance company as well as your employer. This is where transparency and trust need to reconcile. In the control room, Joe Constantin, Cronkite News.
You could just tell by the look on her face that she was just an amazing soul to begin with.
Tobin Bryant was stationed in South Korea when he was hit with puppy love.
I was about 2 weeks out of leaving Osan and walked by the kennel out there. Homeward Bound is the name of the rescue. And walked by, and sitting in the kennel was this beautiful little orange husky.
Bryant's 6-year-old son wanted an orange husky more than anything, so he adopted Tara.
Tara's journey might be a lot different than you think. She started in South Korea, then made her way to Alaska, then all the way down to where she is now in Tucson, Arizona.
The rescue group believes she was destined for a meat packing plant, but now, 7,500 miles later, she's found her forever home.
She's a special girl, and I know that that family really loves her, and it's great to see that they're able to give her something to give her a fuller life.
From a quick glance, Tara looks like an ordinary dog running around and playing, but if you look closely, you'll see her back leg has a prosthetic.
You know, they thrive on that fourth leg, and I think she's a good example of that. That's a very high energy dog who wants to go. She has bursts of energy, but she can't really express those bursts of energy on just 3 legs.
Her back left leg was cut at the paw. The prosthetic allows for Tara to have that fourth paw and be able to run and play without pain. With that, though, comes rehab.
To make sure that she's using it properly, because we certainly don't want to have a device that's going to change her gait and cause compensatory issues. So we always recommend that they do rehab after they have the device.
Tara is continuing her physical therapy, but that back leg isn't slowing her down. In Tucson, Joe Constantin, Cronkite News. Teachers from all over the state met on the Capitol lawn today, President's Day, to protest school voucher bills that they say would cut funding from public schools and give more to charter schools. Many gathered in opposition to the bills, including Arizona's Teacher of the Year, Chris Marsh.
Certainly have tried to put a face to it, and I've tried very, very hard to be the voice of all teachers and therefore the voice of students.
Today's rally is a call for legislators to open the floor to a public hearing prior to the budget proposals being introduced.
Because we know that education funding in Arizona needs to take some next steps. We need to talk about new revenue sources. We need to talk about how we invest in our schools for the long haul so that we don't continue to go from one crisis to the next.
Protesters at today's rally will do anything to make their voices heard, even if it costs them a postage stamp.
Although spending the day today protesting out here on the Capitol lawn, teachers are trying to reach House and Senate leaders in the old-fashioned way, sending postcards just like this one in my hand.
In the governor's State of the State address, Ducey emphasized the importance of funding public schools.
But when we do have available resources, like we do this year, the bulk of those dollars will go to public education, and our proposals will be responsible to make sure we can actually follow through on our word and our educators can rely on it.
Joe Thomas believes it'll be hard for the governor to fulfill his promises.
But he has such a small amount of extra money to put into education because we've cut taxes, and cut taxes.
Time will tell if the education budget increases and how that money is spent. At the state capitol in Phoenix, Joe Constantin, Cronkite News.
The new dyslexia handbook will standardize treatment across the board for dyslexic students.
They can do exercises, learn exercises where they can actually do a lot of the home techniques before the kids go to school or while they're going to school.
Representative Jill Nogard and a group of students met with members of the Arizona Department of Education to discuss the dyslexia handbook. Nogard proposed the bill that made the handbook a reality. Fourth grader Charlie Levitas believes the bill could help thousands of children.
Well, I'm happy because, it helps those other kids a lot. It really does. It gives them those chance for the teachers to be able to help them.
The dyslexia handbook is similar to others already in 14 states. Roughly 17% of students in the country have some sort of dyslexia, according to understood.org. Norgard talked about how the handbook would provide a universal definition.
From district to district, we don't have a consistent way of identifying and addressing dyslexia, and even within districts, from school to school, it's not been consistent. And then if a child goes from one district and moves to another district, there's not a seamless way that the dyslexia decoding and intervention is transferred from one district to another.
Parents are hoping the handbook could also help more schools be able to treat students and end families having to foot the bill.
But you would have to actually go outside of the district and spend thousands of dollars. That's just not feasible. It's not sustainable for most normal families.
The bill passed through the Senate final read with a vote of 29 for and 0 against. The bill has been transmitted to the governor's desk and now awaits to be signed. In the broadcast center, Joe Constantin, Cronkite News.
Cancer centers, legislators, volunteers, and survivors all gathered on the Capitol's front lawn today for a day of speakers, conversations, and messages to the legislators. Last year alone, more than 800 Arizonans lost their lives to breast cancer. Better screening with the help of 3D technology may be able to reduce those numbers in the future.
For 2D mammogram, you get about 4 images. With 3D, you get almost 60 images. Less callbacks for the patients, better detection, especially with patients with dense breasts.
For over 10 years, people have been meeting on the Capitol's front lawn for cancer awareness. Today's goal in particular is to gain support for bills that they believe could lower the cancer rates in Arizona.
Cancer is the leading cause of death in the state of Arizona. More than 12,000 people, it's estimated, will pass away from cancer this year. And there are policies that we can implement that will help drive that number down.
A current House bill that would no longer allow minors to use tanning beds is one bill in particular that survivors like Linda Sinonian are fighting for.
I was one of the ones that was asked to come to the House of Representatives here and talk about skin cancer and what it means, and young women and men that get in these tanning booths. And we really, really need to pray and support that the Senate passes the bill.
Another bill to raise the age to purchase tobacco to 21 has been recently killed, but after today, activists hope to get legislators back to the drawing board. At the state capitol, Joe Constantin, Cronkite News.